Hello and welcome to the morning show. My name is Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at
the fabulous Arizona Center.
And we have got a really cool show for you. Actually, one of your friends is here.
Yeah, Maria was here. I mean, it's great to see her. I mean, so fascinating. I always learn something from her.
So Maria actually does electrolysis and has been doing that for a long time in the Valley. But she's also a huge advocate for trans rights and safe spaces for people who are transitioning or, you know, just need a community to connect with. So we'll be chatting with Maria about all of that.
Yeah. And then there's Tammy.
Dr. Tammy is here. We talk about regenerative health, which is something that Marshall and I just didn't,
you know, you only know so much. And so, and it was, I mean, she's so fascinating to talk to about this field of science that it's like, some people say is experimental, but she's like, oh, it's been around for 20 years.
Yeah, and talked about how it actually came from dentistry and then veterinary sciences.
Yeah, fascinating.
Her interview is actually, I'll give you a heads up. It's a little long. It's 25 minutes. It's longer than we normally go.
And we could have gone longer with her.
I know, because we just kept having so many questions.
Like, oh my gosh! It's like every time she asks, like, oh, well, what about this?
Yeah. And
asking personal questions and things like that. So yeah.
We hope you're really as fascinated as we were by it. Super fun segment, but stick around and you'll get to meet both Maria and Tammy. So I was so excited this morning. I'm dating myself, but the Irish Cultural Museum sent out their newsletter, and they had a thing that was like buried kind of down towards the bottom, but it was where you could book a time slot to read a story to Irish wolfhounds.
Oh, they're doing that. Cool. We had talked to, I mean, it's like I talked to them last year about doing that, and so they were talking about it coming up. Yeah.
So I went to go book a time slot because, of course, I'm going to book a time slot to read to an Irish wolfhound. And their website was down for maintenance. So if you've had trouble, just be patient. Try again. Give them a little bit of time. But
I bet they'll serve you an amazing cup of Irish tea.
Ooh.
So.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Well, and plus, it's such a cool space. I mean, I love that it's so out of place, kind of on Central. People are like, what is that place? And it's the Irish Cultural Center. You know exactly where it is. It's that castle there on basically Portland and Central.
Yep.
I mean, beautiful place. An amazing library.
Yeah.
So
they do a lot of events.
They do a lot of events.
Cultural activations.
And you can rent it out. People have weddings there. They do all kinds of events.
Yeah. So. I've seen the photos of weddings. They're really beautiful. On First Fridays, they do, I never say it right, but they're the Irish dancing.
Yes.
They're open, and they'll teach you how to do it, and you can just join in, and it's a good time. So.
Well, they teach some to do it.
Yeah. Not you?
Not
you
me.
Didn't succeed at that?
No, I did not succeed, so.
Last year, I went to their haunted castle thing that they were doing in October. And they basically had all these different little vignettes. They were shows and kind of haunted tales, and you kind of went all around the center, and that was really fun, yeah.
Yeah, they got a gallery space. I mean, it's you don't realize how much space there is until you get inside.
Yeah, the library, yeah.
Right.
So anyway, still excited about the wolfhounds.
I completely agree. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we really do have a great show. We won't keep talking too long because, like I think we mentioned, one of our interviews goes for a very long time.
Right. But I do want to give a shout out to September 13th when we do the open house. That is 4 to 6 right here at East Van Buren, 400 on East Van Buren.
Yep.
And you can hang out with us. Take a walk around and see not just what our beautiful set looks like in person, but take a look and see what else we're trying to do up here.
It's totally free to come. Also, if you'd like to be involved, if there's a performance you'd like to give, something you'd like to give away, anything like that, just reach out to us. We'd love to have the community
involved. Is your tap
involved.
group coming?
I didn't.
We have carpet.
I know. I was like,
as I looked down, I'm like, yeah, the carpet and tap shoes.
But that would have been fun. That would have been really fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we can figure out a flooring situation. But I also just made a post on our social media. We are making some exclusive tote bags that we'll be giving away. So all you have to do is make a post about the open house party, share why you're excited to come, and tag us or collaborate with us, and then you'll be entered to win one of our really cool tote bags.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Win a tote bag.
Win a tote bag. All right. Well, let's go to our interviews and then stick around. We've got history and things to do for you as well.
And good morning. Welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at the fabulous Arizona Center. And I hear we have a friend of yours.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a business right up the street from me, which is great. So happy to see you, Maria. And
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here to be able to tell my story and to be able to help as many people as I possibly can.
So tell us a little about what you do.
Well, I have a med spa that specializes in helping people transition for to become their true selves. And so I have been doing that for 43 years, and I pretty much help people. I help everybody. Somebody can come into our office with just a few hairs to a lot of hair. And I started my practice when I was 17 years old, and I fell into learning about the community when I was probably maybe 19, 20 years old, with an article written in the newspaper about some transgender person that was transitioning, and they didn't even know the article was written, and they got exploited that day, and they lost everything that day. And so my dad said to me, if you find this person, you'll find more people like her. And so there was no internet 40 years ago. Nothing. I started putting signs up and trying to just find the person. I went to the archives in the library, and I found the person, and she came into my office, and she didn't tell me she was transgendered, and I was just like, I don't even know how to ask her if she's transgender, because I didn't have the right words, and even the word transgender wasn't a word.
Right.
And so I went to the library and found out that the word was gender dysphoric, and so I started working on her, and after I gained some confidence with her, I was working on her, and I tapped her on the forehead, and she looked back at me with these big, beautiful blue eyes, and I was just like, oh my God. And I said, can I ask you a question? And she said, yes. And I said, are you gender dysphoric? That was the word back then. And she said, yes, are you okay with that? And I said, yes, but I need to find more people like you, because I'm young. I was in my early 20s trying to survive. And she helped me find a few different people to get me to where the person who had the group called The Rose, which was a small support group that would help people. They would have like meetups in homes. It wasn't safe to go to a restaurant. And so we would go to home. It was like 20 people at the most. And she was transitioning, and she said, I really want to just kind of move into society. I want to just blend in, and I'm asking you to take over a rose. And I was like, I will take over a rose. And so I did, and that kind of opened it up to how can I take over a rose. And I said, well, I'm not transgender, so I can just place an ad in the New Times and say, are you gender dysphoric? And if you are, contact me, and you can join this group. And my group just started to grow and grow and grow to the point where it's 774 people today, and we get together.
Wow.
Yeah, we get together at different restaurants, and it's and just helping new people understand how to transition, become their true selves, and so that is outside of my business, but that helped me grow my business, and so therefore people became aware of what I did to help people transition and get rid of their facial hair, get rid of their hair in their surgery area, and to be able to set them free so they can become who they truly are.
As someone who's not transgender, why was this cause so important for you to kind of dedicate decades of your life to supporting and advocating for this?
I didn't know it was going to be decades of my life.
Yeah.
But as I met each and every soul, I learned that each and every person had a story, and it just became a part of everything about me. If I met somebody, they knew what I did. I would tell the story to anybody who was willing to listen, because every single person that I could tell, like yourself, would then understand that they're just people just like you and I, just trying to be their true selves.
Yeah.
And so it became just my mission to be able to help them. And also in that mission, it helped this young person, I'm 60 years old, it's helped this 20-year-old grow her business. I was a single mom, I was struggling. Every single babysitter I had, every single person that I went out to dinner with was transgendered. I had people that were had my back, and they had my back because I had their back.
Yeah.
And so that turned into 43 years.
Yeah.
And I just very passionate about it. I'm very, if I can help somebody bridge between their employer and who they are, so I can make sure that I get them in contact with the right person so that person can speak for that person. I'm sure you heard of Donna Rose. She spoke to many employers to help people keep their jobs in the earlier days. You know, she went to American Express, or she went to American Airlines, all these different big companies to help this person keep their job over here because she was once that person. Erica Kepler, you know, she the first time she came into my office, she was literally, you know, she walked in and she saw her old receptionist that she was working for when she was the other gender. And she literally walked to my office and walked right back out. She was like, oh my God, I can't do that. Well, my receptionist went right out there and reeled her back in. And here she is. She's so successful and she's so happy who she is.
Completely. I mean, you really created a safe space.
It is a safe
especially
space.
at a point where there wasn't a safe space.
It wasn't a safe space. No, there was not. And there's been a lot of hard times for somebody that has created a safe space. I mean, I've been vandalized. I've been all kinds of stuff, you know. I'm sure you saw the outside of my building. It's one big flag, you know, and so it's something that I said, okay, I can do this, and I can still try to be as safe as humanly possible, keep everybody that's around me as safe as possible. And it grew into like people who there's a condition called PCOS where somebody who's like myself will grow a beard like a man does, and those people, if I can get rid of her hair, she's transitioning, she certainly can get rid of my hair, which is struggling, you know. And so I help other people. I mean, I probably help more people that are not transgender because there's not, you know, there's not as many, you know. But I am a hub for people who are transitioning, but I am a hub for people who are just struggling with facial hair. And you think about facial hair, and you think, oh, a few little hairs, but we're talking women who have a full beard that will have to go into the restroom and shave their face in the middle of the day to put their makeup back on just to be able to survive. So I have women who don't even go to bed without makeup on, so they feel like a female when they're around their spouse. I mean, we're talking major hair problems. And then those people, people with just little tiny little few hairs, they come in too, you know. So it's been not just transgender population, but everybody. But when there's a mission to be called, I'm there for the mission. And that's why I said I've got to do this, especially right now. The trans veterans have lost all their benefits. The trans elderly don't even know what's going on around them. I mean, you think about, I sent in a few pictures, but I have a few pictures of my trans elderly and a few pictures of my trans veterans. They're struggling right now because the trans elderly don't know anything about like the internet and the media, and they've been slid into society, you know, without notice, and now their band-aids ripped off and they're being exposed. They don't know how to handle this. The trans veterans, I mean, I was working on just so many trans veterans to try to get them to their final goal. They were American citizens that fought for our country. A lot of these people come in without limbs, and all of their services got ripped away from them. We can't help them. Now, we can help them because my husband and I in 2014 started a nonprofit to help underserved transgender people. And so we are bridging that to try to help as many trans veterans as we possibly can. We can't support them all because we had hundreds and hundreds of them. The people who are in the military that are getting kicked out right now, they joined the military to fight for our country, and they deserve the same benefits as any other veteran, and they don't. It was ripped away from them, and they are the same American citizens that fought for our country. So I want people to understand that these people are truly just like you and me, and we want to support those people. Not especially all of them, but if you think about the trans veterans and how much time they spent fighting for us, they should never be in this position they're in right now.
Right.
So can you share how the community can help support and uplift what you're doing and your business and your efforts?
So But by anybody who's just has a hair problem or has a med spa problem or want to come to a med spa to help feel better about themselves, come.
Yeah.
That supports me. The transgender population, we have a nonprofit. I gave the information to Anne.
Yeah.
And then it helps so many people. I have helped people go through school. I've helped people who have almost losing their apartments, pay rent, our services, just anything that would help a transgender person. She's going to put a link into this to be able to help them.
Right.
But they can, if they're at the end of the year and they're going, I need to do a write-off, well, guess what? You can do a write-off, and you can help trans elderly, trans veterans, trans youth, whoever can't do it anymore because their benefits were taken away.
Yeah.
And so they can go to that, our nonprofit. It's been around since 2014. We've helped so many people with their transition. We've even helped people who weren't transgender. We've helped people that are that have lost their women who have children, or women that are struggling, men who are struggling. Anybody, you name it. If they come to us and they truly have a problem and they can get through our application and we feel we can help them, we'll help them.
Yeah.
A little bit at a time, because it's not a big organization, but it's a growing organization. But it's been around for a long time.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on and sharing your story, your history, and the support you've given to the community and continue
Yes.
to provide. And not just that feel better about yourself, but also those connections within the community to help just make people's lives better.
Yes, I appreciate it. I'm so excited to be here because our paths have crossed
So many times. Right, exactly.
I can think of years of just walking in and just giving you hugs wherever you're at.
Exactly.
And you're like, we have to talk about the archives. And my daughter moved to Washington recently, and I'm 60. She's younger. She's taking on this. She's taken on my stick, and she's running with it, and I was like,
good for her.
And so she is. I think I'm going to try and get some stuff for you. But
Okay, cool.
But that being said, I think I shipped it to Washington. But I go there often.
We can always road trip to go get it.
There you go.
Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. So
He
it was
doesn't
nice.
need much of an excuse
I was gonna say,
to go on a trip.
let's go
Yeah.
somewhere. All right.
So it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Maria. Yeah, and it's been great learning about you and your husband and your history.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, if this is a cause that you're also passionate about, Maria is a great person to know and support their nonprofit organization. We will be here with more cool stuff.
Exactly.
To talk
Just
about.
doing our usual stuff.
Yeah, so keep it right here.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Marshall.
I forgot to wish you happy Trans Flag Day.
A happy Trans Flag Day to you, too.
Now, it was August 19th, and so we're just kind of catching up on some stuff.
Yeah.
Now, basically, the trans flag, Monica Helms, who is a transgendered activist, U.S. Navy veteran, created that flag as a symbol to become one of the most powerful, recognizable things across the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows up almost everywhere. That pink, blue, white stripe of the transgender flag has been flown globally, really kind of showcasing that resilience, visibility, and hope. Now, to join the U.S. Navy, she trained and worked on a nuclear sub for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
After she was off of that, she tried to join the veteran submarine group under her authentic name, and she wasn't allowed to. So she kept up that battle and was finally allowed to join her other colleagues. And she thought, I should do this as a way to just kind of create this flag as a way to just kind of help people have a safety blanket.
Yeah.
And so she basically made up by hand that first flag, and it then flew in the Phoenix Pride Parade in 2000. And then in 2014, it went to the Smithsonian Museum out in D.C., where it still sits today. Now, she also helped lead the first trans veteran march to the wall for trans vets, as well as her activism and national voice for trans rights continues today. Now, you can learn more about Monica by reading her book, More Than Just a Flag, which talks about her being an activist, trans, as well as so much more about her life. And we want to celebrate Trans Flag Day because it's not only a piece of fabric, but we're honoring Monica Helms, her courage, and the countless trans people that are around in our everyday lives. The trans reminds us all that we are seen and that we are valid, and that no matter how difficult the struggle, we are part of a global community that stands for resilience, visibility, and hope. So a happy Trans Flag Day.
Yeah, and it is such a powerful symbol. I use it a lot with my work with SLC, with Southern Legal Counsel, and their work that they do for trans advocacy and rights and litigation. So, it's a beautiful flag. I think it's just, I really love that flag. So
I agree.
Yeah, so grateful to Monica for designing that and bringing that to life.
Yeah, and just a few months ago, she actually sent me the address here in Phoenix, the apartment building that she was living in when she
a lot of people don't know that's a local thing that originated here. So very cool to touch on the history of that, and I think it's very fitting with the episode
Indeed.
that we've had today with Maria. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Marshall.
Thank you, and we'll be sure to stick around because we have more fun stuff, more history coming up soon. And welcome back to the morning show. I am Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here
at the fabulous Arizona Center with that amazing view. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is our second week in the studio.
I know.
Yeah, very exciting.
We're still not over it. We still get awestruck by this view. It's pretty incredible. Actually, one of our guests just recommended that we put a mirror up on this wall
so we could see
it.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's behind us.
Oh, yeah, we could get some of those 60s with the gold veins in them and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sold.
All right.
Well, we have a wonderful guest here for you. We've got Tammy. Hi, Tammy.
Hi there.
So nice to have you on. You are with Precision Regenerative Medicine.
Yes.
And so many questions. Oh, my gosh.
Marshall's like, I can't even wait.
What
is it?
What is it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What is regenerative medicine?
Yes.
I'm going to focus mostly on musculoskeletal. There is a whole huge, I guess, world of what is regenerative. When we're talking aesthetics, we're talking about maybe biohacking, we're talking longevity or health span, lifespan. But what I do is specifics to the musculoskeletal system. So think any of your joints, your spine, and I do still use biohacking to make the body ready for using its own cells. So that's where we talk about the regenerative.
Okay.
Originally you'd think, ooh, does that mean we're going to regrow a knee and I don't have to have a knee replacement? We're not there yet. Not quite ready for prime time, but we can optimize you and then harness your own cells to help decrease inflammation, decrease pain, and maybe keep you out of the operating room for as long as you need to be.
Okay, that's interesting. So you say use your own cells.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I know you're around this all the time. You work in this. So somebody that's totally new to this whole concept of regenerative medicine, what does that mean exactly, to use my own cells? Like, is it done in a blood pool and then it gets put back? Like, how does this all work?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Can I start with what is traditional and then we can compare to what is regenerative?
Please
Absolutely.
do. Yeah.
So traditionally, say you were an athlete, you are an active mom, you are a granddad who wants to play on the floor with your kids and your grandkids and you can't because your knee hurts. And you would go to maybe your sports med doc, maybe your family doc, and they say, it's probably just some wear and tear arthritis. Let's try a steroid injection into the joint. And they may just kind of feel around and say, okay, that's a spot, go. And put some steroid in there to reduce some inflammation. And maybe you step it up, and the next step is the gel shots, where you get a little hyaluronic acid, which is part of our normal fluids and cushioning device. So let's try to maybe add some fluid to that as we get to bone on bone in the knee.
Okay.
Regenerative medicine goes above and beyond that. Because now we know that steroids, even one dose, can accelerate cartilage loss, can accelerate osteoarthritis.
Well, that's great.
I know. Thank you for that.
Wow.
Okay.
I had no idea.
I know, and a lot of people say, well, I get 3 shots a year.
Yeah.
Or 4 shots a year, however much their doctor doles out, and these
Right.
are massive doses. To be clear, we make our own steroids. We have these teeny weeny little glands on the top of our kidneys called the adrenals, and they make steroid, but in these micro doses. So when you get injections anywhere, be that your knee or your tennis elbow or your epidural steroid injection in your neck, that is a massive dose, thousands and thousands of what you need, and it overdoes what it's supposed to do. So we don't want the tendon to rupture because it weakens tendons. We don't want to accelerate the arthritis. So we said, the body has its own way of healing itself. I'm an osteopathic physician. I'm a DO. DOs and MDs get almost the same training. It was actually an MD who was not pleased with, I've either got a pill or I've got surgery. There's got to be a better way. So he brought in osteopathic manipulation. He brought in, we've got to take care of the being, reduce the stress, improve the sleep, improve the eating, and the body can get over things.
Yeah.
So that's the osteopathic principle. So that fits perfectly with me quitting traditional pain medicine, never burning nerves again, never injecting corticosteroids, and saying, what if we can't use your own cells? Meaning the baseline for regenerative medicine would be blood, platelet-rich plasma.
Okay.
Typically, you draw blood from this area of the arm, you spin it in a centrifuge. There are high-quality tubes to put the blood in and low-quality tubes, high-quality centrifuges and low-quality centrifuges, so we can talk about that in more detail. But you spin it, then you separate out the red cells, which aren't part of regeneration, but in this tiny little layer at the bottom are platelets and growth factors and anti-inflammatory cytokines. So think of steroids on steroids.
Okay.
But it's not a steroid, and it's your own cells. So when that's then precisely placed into the area of injury, like a meniscus tear or like inside the joint where there's getting to be bone on bone or some wearing and tearing of the cartilage, then that tells the body, come here. This is the time to work. We are calling all available people here, and let's start working on this. So over a course of several months, this is not fast like a steroid injection. It starts reducing inflammation and healing. We hope that it will create a situation where you've got more function, you've got more capabilities, and you're staying out of the operating room. It is now known to be a disease-modifying substance, meaning like you would take an anti-rheumatoid arthritis drug and it halts the progression. We're finding your own platelet-rich plasma, when it's high quality, is also a disease-modifying drug. But it's yours, so it's really not a drug.
That's fascinating. Okay, so maybe an obvious / dumb question, but why isn't everybody doing this then? Is this fairly new? Is there just not a lot of education or awareness around it? Like what's the situation there?
I think there are a couple things. A, it's not a dumb question. B, it's been around for decades, was originally kind of brought to the light by our dental colleagues because they would put a platelet-rich plasma kind of clot, fibrin clot in the area around an implant to make it more likely that the implant would succeed.
Interesting.
And then our veterinary colleagues said, ooh, this could keep the racehorse on the track. This could keep the show dog who's doing all those little slalom courses on the field. And they actually have a lot of data that we can transfer over into humans. I'd say the biggest boom for human studies probably 20 years,
Okay.
but it's becoming more and more. I think in 2025 alone, there have been something like 160 randomized controlled trials on platelet-rich plasma. So if people say, oh, this is experimental, this is not ready for prime time, it truly is ready for prime time. And I can list, just today, a long list of probably 24 just on the spine with platelet-rich plasma, or just as many on bone marrow, which would be another use of your cells, or adipose fat. People say, "Oh, I've got plenty of fat. Let's use that." Right? So these are your own cells, but it is ready for prime time. Another barrier is that insurance is still calling it experimental.
Okay.
It's
That,
not
that's kind of what I thought.
experimental.
I was like, it comes down to.
Okay.
It kind of does, because, Marshall, can you put a patent on blood? Can you put a patent on your own bone marrow?
Yeah.
No. So where's the money?
Yeah.
The money is in drugs. The money is in hardware.
Yeah.
The money is in industry. And so there's a lot of things that will come out that say, oh, PRP doesn't work at all, or it versus a steroid and they were equal. What did you actually draw? Did you use a simple little test tube and it was this much, like 7 cc's of blood, which is literally a tablespoon, or did you use 60 cc's? Well, let's just say 6 and 60.
Yeah.
Well, that's 10 times. And if you spin this down and you concentrate it, are you maybe not going to get 10 times the platelets? So now we know that there's a dose response curve. So if you put in plasma, you're not going to respond. If you put in platelet-rich plasma, whether that be a magic dose, which we think is closer to 10 billion from a 60 cc draw.
Okay.
That would depend on your health. That would depend on your baseline platelets. Do you have a clotting problem where if you cut yourself shaving, you don't stop
Yeah.
bleeding? But if you've got a normal platelet, drawing about 60 cc's of blood will yield 10 billion platelets, and that appears to be the magic number for at least the knee. I extrapolate that to the other joints, like the shoulder, like the hip. And in the spine, I'll draw 120 cc's because I've got so many more targets in the
Okay.
spine. So you have to know that a lot of this out there is maybe manipulated for the use of the insurance industry or industry in general to say that the deck is stacked against, why do you want to do something experimental? Why do you want to do something that insurance won't pay for? Why?
Yeah.
So, is it something? I mean, so do those platelets? Someone who's 20 versus someone who's 60, same number? I mean, I'm just wondering. It's like.
Like, do you decrease value with
yes,
age?
exactly. Well, exactly. That's what I'm wondering.
Exactly.
It's like. I mean.
Yeah.
That is a great question, and originally everybody thought for sure, and I can definitely say with bone marrow, they say because bone marrow has everything platelet-rich plasma has, plus it's got your own stem cells. So your own mesenchymal stem cells, meaning that they're the kind that differentiate into things like bones and cartilage and ligaments and tendons, think musculoskeletal, and we've debunked that.
Yeah.
We've said that's a myth. Let's bust this myth, because if you've got excellent technique in getting the cells, the way you prep the patient, the way you harvest the cells, I know that sounds like a weird word, but literally you're taking the cells, but you want, like when you harvest a crop, you want to make sure that it's been well watered, you want to make sure that it maybe has some organic fertilizer, those things, then you can get just as good a response in an older population than in a younger population. So I love that question because I love to bust the myth.
Yeah. So selfishly, I'm curious, and if this isn't your area, that's fine, but I'm just curious, like, so I have a very weird type of migraine that affects my nervous system and my muscular system. And there was an instance a couple of years ago where they gave me like a shot in my spine. It ended up triggering thyroiditis, and I just had a really bad response to it. But I'm thinking about, right, like how many meds I take to treat my migraines, and I'm curious, like, is it at all possible that something like this could be applicable to to a kind of migraine situation?
Potential when we talk about what kind of migraines,
Yeah.
and if there is, for example, anything involved with the occipital nerve.
Yes.
So occipital neuralgia, or it's a little nerve that sits at the base of your skull, and it kind of creates this
That's
type
where
of a,
mine start.
yes,
Yep.
this pattern. That nerve can become entrapped, and the muscles around it can just almost choke it. Well, imagine if you're choking, you can't breathe, you can't get oxygen to the area.
Yep.
So with platelet-rich plasma, or even something as simple as dextrose prolotherapy, that's sugar water, sterile sugar water, placed under ultrasound around that nerve, it's almost like taking, I liken it to a cotton ball where you've got all these fibrous things and you've tried to get this little stick or this nerve up through that cotton ball, and instead it kind of goes puff, puff, puff. And now there is flow, now there is oxygen, now there is life back to that nerve.
Yeah.
So it may take a couple of different times, but targeting the nerve, targeting the muscles that are also now fibrosed, and the fascia, which is kind of like little saran wrap around each muscle, loosening those up and freeing them can often provide amazing relief, particularly with cervicogenic headaches and migraines.
Interesting.
So yes.
I'm fascinated by that. Okay. Yeah, no, because I mean, it's just that, yeah, mine start literally here, go up and over one whole side of my face and head, but then it goes into one whole side of my body. And so it's been a struggle. And so now I have an injection that I take, but that's something that I've just always wondered why there's not been more kind of just research or information that I have available to me about like options and why this is happening.
Well, it sounds like at the end of her segment, she's going to give a little how to get more information. You might want to reach out to her.
No, I know. So is there anything, what else should we know? I mean, this is clearly new to both Marshall and I. It's probably new to a lot of our viewers. Is there anything else that you'd like to share that we should know about the kind of medicine that you provide?
I would say that the most important questions to ask when you're looking for somebody are not so much, what's the cost of your PRP? How much is PRP? How much is PRP? Because not all PRP is created equal.
Okay.
You want to know how much blood they're drawing, dose response curve, a little test tube versus 60 cc's.
Okay.
You want to know that they want to know your labs before.
Yeah.
That it's not going to be that I meet you on the same day as I inject you, because I don't know you yet.
Yeah.
I don't know that maybe you've not stopped medications that would have poisoned your platelets, like ibuprofen, naproxen, Aleve, meloxicam, any of those NSAIDs, any of those things to destroy the platelets. Well, within the platelets are the growth factors, so you're just wasting your money. That would be a big waste of it. So you want to have met the person, know who they are, what their training is, that they didn't maybe take a cadaver course over the weekend and decide that, hey, I can inject the spine, versus a spine fellowship trained, residency fellowship, and I know what to do with complications, and I have neurosurgeons or orthopedic spine surgeons. Should there be a very rare complication, I have admitting privileges and can do that.
Yeah.
And not every practitioner can.
Okay.
So unfortunately, it's kind of a wild, wild west.
Yeah.
We live in Arizona, but it's a wild west everywhere with regard to this kind of therapy. So not what is the price of your PRP, how much blood are you going to draw, what is your training, are you going to use image guidance?
Okay.
An ultrasound and or a C-shaped x-ray, if we're talking about the spine, to deliver those cells exactly. Because even if you're an amazing orthopedic surgeon who's injected 5,000 knees, the studies have shown that palpation-guided injections of that knee versus an ultrasound guidance, you cannot compare the accuracy. And when we're talking about injecting, we want to treat the whole, this is an organ. This has cartilage, this has synovial fluid, this has bone. All these can be targets. Then we've got the meniscus, inside and outside. We've got the ligaments on the inside, outside. We've got the crossing ligaments.
I was going to say, you have a model.
This is a whole organ. So you don't just want somebody to put it in the joint.
Yeah.
That'd be like going to the grocery store and saying, I'm hungry, let me just go to the store and things are going to hop into my cart.
Yeah.
No, you got to go to the right aisle. You've got to put things in the right spot. so that you can prepare that gourmet meal of all these 3 ingredients or 15 ingredients. So you need image guidance. So do you use image guidance? Okay. And how long have you been doing this? So a lot more than just that. And basically, what else are you going to do for me? Is it just that you're going to meet me and inject me and say, see ya, good luck with all that? There's a lot of expectation management. This is not like a steroid where maybe 48 hours after the injection, hallelujah, the anti-inflammatory has started and I'm starting to feel better for the next 1 or 2 months, and then I need another one. This is that maybe your pain started here, and here's the first 3 months. We've got a pretty steep curve where you're starting. Okay. Then it flattens out a little bit, but is still improving, and then maybe even up to a year. It can take that long to really see the effects.
Wow.
Okay. So this is a patience thing for patients.
Right.
And we want to then say, how can I optimize this? How can I make myself, the best candidate for this?
Yeah.
And that is eating anti-inflammatory. That is having enough building blocks through proteins and amino acids to actually round up all these little healing cells for your tendons and your cartilage and your ligaments. And
now I assume if somebody say, hey, I'm going to come, we're going to talk, you give them a list of like, okay, here, eat up on these things.
Yeah.
Also, how long does it take to be off of like an ibuprofen before your platelets get restored?
Most people are in the 7 to 10 day camp.
Okay.
I'm closer to 10 days because I know how long a platelet lives. Others will say that if it's a stronger anticoagulant, say you've had a heart attack and some stents and you're on a medication called clopidogrel or Plavix, even though it affects the platelets, what's more important? You keeping that stent open and not having another heart attack or another stroke, or here, so I'd more likely draw more blood. Okay. So I can then concentrate in those cases. But would I prefer you be off anything that poisons platelets? For sure.
Yeah.
And it depends on that drug and its half-life.
Okay.
But typically 7 to 10 days before, 7 to 10 days after. And the longer you can stay off after, because these cells are still working, then the better you're going to do. The more likely your cells are going to be able to take.
Okay.
Great questions.
Yeah, well, again, just selfishly, I'm thinking about, because I also have a kidney disease, and so when I take ibuprofen, I can see a big difference in my levels, like on my labs, than when I don't take it. And no one had ever talked to me about platelets or how it affects other parts. I was just always thought about it in the frame of my kidneys, and so it's just interesting to hear that that's a factor here as well.
It is. They can mask some things. I know it's a little bit of a different topic, but when you sprain your ankle acutely and it swells up and you think, ooh, ibuprofen now, right? Maybe we are delaying the healing process. Our body has its own innate ability to heal, and there's an anti-inflammatory cascade that is triggered by that. So maybe it's good to lay off it, right? That whole rest, ice, compression, and elevation. Yeah. So putting it in an ice bucket, fine, but not too much. We want the blood flow to get there so that it can deliver all your anti-inflammatory mediators from its own cells. We might want to wrap it so it doesn't get too huge, but you don't want to just pound the ibuprofen for the next 2 weeks because it can delay the healing and prolong the robustness of the response.
That's also fascinating. I feel like we could talk to you for a billion
hours.
I'm
kind of, it's like, wow.
I know.
I mean, it's like, and if you watch commercials, they're like, oh yeah, just take a blue pill, a white pill, a red and yellow, and just until you feel better.
Right. And that's not regenerative medicine.
Right. No, very like Stepford wife. It's like, here, just keep popping these pills till you feel better.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing all of this information with us and enlightening us on, I think, different options, different ways to think about things in our bodies. That is so important. Why don't you share where people can learn more about you, or if they want to work with you? That would be really great.
Thank you so much. You can find me on https precisionmedprp.com. I also have a pretty robust YouTube channel at Dr. Tammy Penhollow, and this is very patient-facing. It's about free education. So if you want to learn about your knees or your shoulder or your spine, I'm publishing and releasing videos couple times a week. If not right now, I'm in a daily challenge. So there'd be quite a few of those.
That's wonderful. We love free education around
Yeah.
here. That's great. Yeah. Well, again, thank you. Super fascinating. I feel like there's, again, so much more that we could just continue this
just the other
conversation
door I didn't even
on.
know was there is now open.
Yeah. So, all right. We hope your minds are as blown as ours right now, and that you take advantage of learning from Dr. Tammy on her YouTube and also
Yeah.
reaching out to her through the website. Keep it right here, though. We've got even more awesome stuff coming your way. Marshall, it's my favorite one to do. We've got some unique and unexpected things to do here.
Okay. I thought you were going to say coffee, coffee, coffee.
That's you.
Oh, that's me. Maybe that was hoping.
I don't drink coffee.
Maybe I was hoping it was coffee, coffee,
It is
coffee.
not coffee,
Okay.
coffee, coffee.
Okay.
It's also not bingo, 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 which I enjoy. No, this is right on theme with kind of what we've been exploring with the trans flag and with Maria earlier today.
Yeah.
We have got some LGBTQ events to explore for you. First of all, we've got Lady Gaga drag brunch happening at the Desert Ridge Improv in Phoenix on Saturday. She's calling all her little monsters. Sadly, she will not actually be there. Oh my God, I would be there in a heartbeat. But instead, Espresso Grande hosts the Lady Gaga drag brunch at the Desert Ridge Improv. So there's going to be tons of songs by Lady Gaga. There'll be multiple queens. They're encouraging costumes. So if you've got Lady Gaga inspired, stuff, outfits you want to rock, they are absolutely all about that. This is a 21 plus event with a 2-drink minimum, and it is truly a brunch. It's from 11 to 1, and tickets start at just $24. So if you are
nice.
a Lady Gaga fan, that is where you want to be on Saturday.
And you're probably going to bring your own little monster, your own little Labubu if you
You
have
could.
If you have one.
Although people might try to steal that from you, so be careful. Maybe handcuff it to you.
Or dress it up as Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
But not in a meat outfit. That would not be good.
No.
No.
We've also got a Bay Day Beyonce birthday party at the Sugar Cane in Phoenix on Saturday. So basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a Beyonce party in downtown Phoenix. They are kind of theming it all out, all things Beyonce. And there's going to be great music. There's going to be good vibes, a community of powerful women, and again, they're inviting folks to dress in your best Beyonce-inspired look. I can already picture that in my head, what that'll look like. And
There's so many different looks to go for. I mean, do you want to do country and western?
Most people will probably do the country.
So,
We're in Arizona.
We're in Arizona, so that seems to be the easiest and probably the most readily.
But it's supposed to just be a really feel-good time to dance and celebrate and just lift one another up. That is from 2 to 7 p.m. What a great time for an event. That's exactly like how Melissa would plan all of her events. Start in the afternoon, be done by 7.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. $20 for advance tickets. So yeah, for all you Beyonce fans. I don't know, what do they call Beyonce fans? Gaga's monsters, all her little monsters. What are, I don't know. Theo, you don't know? You're not whispering in my ear. I feel like Beehive.
Beehive.
Beehive. Oh, okay. He's not in this too.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that makes sense. All right. We've also got the Queer Book Club happening at Gracie's in Phoenix at 5 o'clock on Sunday. And this is hosted by Erin Mallory, and it's a monthly reading club focusing on the experiences of LGBTQ plus community and queer literature. So you are invited to come and sip some yummy cocktails, read and discuss, and, come for the community, stay for the literature. Again, it's 5 to 7 at Gracie's. And I'm sure they curate their book selections, but if you're also just looking for really great LGBTQ books to read, Changing Hands does a really good job curating a selection of LGBTQ
And
novels, true
and
stories.
some of them bring some of those authors to talk about their books, so they're really good about bringing in.
They are. They also have a great banned book section as well. So, Changing Hands is just great for kind of a lot of different literature on those kinds of topics. But yeah, Gracie's is a fun place for a book club. I love that idea.
Indeed. And then what's really cool is they're opening up another space.
Yeah.
That's kind of a little Art Deco. Well, it's very Art Deco on the outside, and so they're trying to be like a little Art Deco-ish on the inside. Meets
That'll
the
be
80s,
cool.
so it's kind of cool.
They keep winning like national awards too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's...
If you haven't been to Gracie's, it's a lot of fun just to go hang out.
It is, yeah.
So.
I will say, the last weekend I drove by, there was a huge line to get in. Yeah.
Oh, that
So,
makes sense.
just be prepared. If you're going on a kind of a high traffic day, that you might have to wait in line to get in. But they're open during the week though, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a bar, so they're pretty much there
Yeah.
almost all the time. So.
Yeah, so maybe just don't go on a Saturday or a Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
Which actually, that's when I like to go, because that's when you just go hang out.
I know.
Then you can talk to people without the crush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, enjoy your unique and unexpected LGBTQ themed activities this week. If you've got more to throw our way, please do. I love to hear them. You can reach me at hello@onthemorningshow.com or on Instagram @onthemorningshow, and I'd be happy to share.
You know
about
what you should
your
also
events.
plug about unexpected? All puppet players.
Oh yeah, all puppet players.
Yeah.
They just announced their brand new season. They were letting their subscribers, their members, kind of
Right.
pick out their shows first. But now single show tickets are available. I forget, what are we seeing in a couple weeks?
I know
here?
what you did on prom night. Breakfast Club. Oh, I know what you did at the Breakfast Club.
I know what you did at the breakfast. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a mix of I know what you did last
summer
summer
and
and
the
the Breakfast
Breakfast
Club,
Club,
which
so-
sounds so weird, but it's going to be
Oh, and
fantastic.
I mean, I
so.
love what they do is they just do this huge mashup of so much pop culture.
Yeah.
And it's puppets. You had me at puppets.
Ants was one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh.
Did
And
you
then
see that one? The black and white?
Then the huge ant that came
Yeah.
out.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I still can't get over it. They have great shows. Again, though, if you're easily offended, don't do it.
Yeah, stay home.
Like, if we offend you,
Oh, do we offend people?
I think some people, just by talking about some of the things we talk about, could get offended. And the
Oh.
puppet theater just like,
Oh, yeah. No, they just ramp up the volume to about a 12. So.
but his intro, that's usually when people walk out, is even at his intro, because he's like, he lets you know right away
Right up
what
front
it's
that
going to be like.
right.
So, but if you're like us and heathens,
Not easily
then
offended.
yeah, you'll enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things. I laugh so much, and people really could use a little bit more joy and laughter right now. So,
Indeed.
yeah, good call. Great suggestion to add that on. All right, well, we have more things to do, more history, more interviews, all the things coming. So stay here with The Morning Show.